You're by the way, King Dingbat here, and welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast, episode 4. Me and Joey Shakes coming at you, bringing you a draft recap. But before we get into what happened, we need to get the up-to-date news of who the Eagles have been targeting since the draft is over. What you got for us, my man Joey?
So the undrafted free agent list that I have so far, the Eagles, there might be more, but this is the most updated one. We have Nebraska tight end Jack Stroll. We have Indiana center Harry Kreider. Iowa State defensive end Jaquan Bailey. We have Georgia QB Jamie Newman. Texas A&M Jamon Osmond. There's no position with him. I don't know who that is, and then they have Florida wide receiver Trevon Grimes.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah,
that I think that's a steal. I actually think. That's going to be interesting to see if he can make it. But yeah, those are the guys we've signed so far. I'm sure that over the next 24 hours, there's going to be a lot more that they're going to sign. What is up, everybody? I didn't even say that coming in. I see everybody here. Jadis Young, VP, Brandon, Matt Weeks, Mark Holmes, Mullet is back again. Dragonfire, Eagle Slayer, Christine, Jose, Ross, Andre, man, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. I think out of that list, in my opinion, I don't know. There's some of those guys I'm going to have to research, but the Grimes pick, I like that one. I think that is a very, very good one, just in my opinion.
And I see some people saying, too, that the Jamon Osmond, that's a very fast receiver as well. So That's what I'm seeing as well right here.
Okay, cool. So and I'm sure that there's going to be many other signings, over the course of the next 24 hours. But we'll see how it plays out. Now, Joey, getting into the draft, let's go through some of these picks.
Okay,
and then we'll answer questions and we'll see what everybody thinks about it. But first pick, first night, epic reactions, epic situation. Eagles are in a corner. Looks like it's all done. They're done, and all of a sudden, boom! Howie Roseman. I don't know if they gave him crack beforehand. I don't know what he was on. What did they do? What did the doctor do? And he trades up with Dallas, gets DeVonta Smith. I thought first night, man, I thought that was like A++. Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean that was a moment we're not going to forget. I think it's so emotional. I know it's so emotional to see a pick like that because we haven't drafted somebody that we know is a top talent. This wasn't taking a chance on a player type pick. This guy's the real deal, top technical route runner in the league, and it's going to be one of the best. It's going to be one of the best receivers in the future. I mean, I can't wait to see this kid lined up opposite of Rager or whatever they do with this wide receiver core, and just see Sirianni use these guys to their strengths. Jalen Hurts reunite.
I love it. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic to get one of the top 4 players that I wanted. It is just so very cool. And then, Joey, we moved to round 2. Now, this is interesting because in round 2, the feeling going into it was that, hey, the Eagles, they're changing philosophies here. They are going to get players that can impact this team right away, that they're going to go best player available. And we're looking at JOK drop and drop and drop. And then he's on the board at 37. I'm thinking it's going to be him or Asante Samuel Jr. And the Eagles take center Landon Dickerson. What did you think about that pick in general? What were your thoughts on it?
Well, first, when we were reacting to it, we figured, okay, it's just a center, and we figured he only had that one ACL injury, but then to find out that Dickerson has been hurt every single year. He's had 2 knee injuries, 2 ankle injuries. Obviously, we don't know the technicality of the ankle injury. Was it totally ripped off? Was it, was it just a regular, injury? But you really picked a injury, a high injury guy. And you mentioned the other day, which was really, about, the Eagles office when they draft, it's the analytics department against the scout department. And we feel that because they feel that, let me tell you something, we have no problem, just to say it right now, we have no problem with the player. The player is awesome. Best center. He was SEC all best center. I mean, he is going to, the videos I've seen Brian Baldinger put videos on him already. And man, this guy 6'6", 325. I mean, could bulldoze people over, takes linebackers by the throat, and makes them look like baby food. No joke. But for the injuries, that's where my concern is. It's not about the player; it's just the injuries, just a big.
Yeah, my thoughts on it. Now, I had heard, I don't know where I was listening, radio or something, and they were talking about him, and they were talking about what a beast this guy could be if he's healthy and how good he could be. And I was like, very intrigued by this guy. So when the Eagles draft him, my initial thought was, well, I know he's coming off injury. I kind of don't like that, but I understand the talent, the immense talent he has. Didn't realize that he was injured so many times, and my other thing was just this. My biggest problem with this, and even in the third round, like the pick at the time, the placement of the pick, not the player, is what I didn't like. Like, I think at 37, you take JOK, Asante Samuel Jr., whoever it is, you could have took somebody that would have been a bona fide day one starter. And then if you really love this kid, then go up and get him again. Right. Yeah, I don't care. Go up and get him. I think people would understand that so much more. But if this kid turns out to be healthy, he is going to be an absolute monster. You know what I mean?
No, he is. I mean, Howie Roseman has already mentioned that they're not redshirting him this year, so obviously he's going to be ready to go and just learn behind Jason Kelce for a whole year before he retires. Then hopefully by the 2022 season, he's ready to go, and you have your new center of the future, and hopefully there's no setbacks in between that time.
Absolutely. Freeman Luma, man, thank you for a super chat. He says, McPherson, Asante Samuel Jr. are about the same size. Would you have an issue with him on the outside? I personally wouldn't if they feel that he could play it, but I mean, we're going to have to see. Yeah. You know what I mean? I we'll see what they think. Jay Kills, thank you so much for super chat, man. He says, Kenneth Gainwell interview was amazing. Malcolm Jenkins 2.0. I'm going to have to check it out. I'm going to have to check him out. But I love that pick, and we'll get into that. Yeah. Now, moving on to the third pick, right? No, where was I? Think so. The third pick, we take defensive tackle Milton Williams. And here was my issue with this pick. It was, once again, it was not the player. I think he's very talented. I know that they like him. But the Eagles traded back from 70 to 73 while number 67 was on the clock. And they were targeting, I believe, the corner from UCF, Robinson kid. Right. And because they traded back so early, they didn't get him. The Giants wind up getting him, stealing him from the Eagles. We then see the blow up in the war room where Tom Donahue was not happy that they missed out on their player. So once again, it wasn't the player, it was the placement of the picks. They rushed the trade for a 6th-round pick. Who the hell needs 4 6th-round picks? And it cost them a player that they wanted. Now, in terms of what this kid is and what he looks like, I think he looks like he's going to be a good player. What were your thoughts?
Who are we talking about?
We're talking about Milton.
So when I saw after we seen that video of what was going on during that pick, we saw another video. I saw another video today during that pick. Jonathan Gannon was in the room and he was excited. He was pumped. I mean, he was just ecstatic by that pick. And since it's weird because the Eagles really didn't talk to him, I don't know if this was a player that kind of dropped and they couldn't pass up on him, right, or what it is. But, obviously analytics, again, we find out more news about Milton, about how the cone drill, all his testing was in the high whatever percentages. And then obviously he could bench 500 pounds. So he's real strong. They seemed excited. Jonathan Gann seemed like this is one of his guys. So, I mean, if that's the case, then maybe we just have to do the wait and see approach to just see how he does.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Emmanuel Henderson, thank you for the super chat. He says, do you think the Eagles should have drafted players with character concerns Is the reward worth the risk since we draft players with injury concerns? I do think that sometimes they're a little too hard on the character concern stuff. I think that they should loosen up a little bit. I mean, it really depends what the issue is. But to me, I do think that sometimes they overdo it. But, that's just me.
Depending on what it is, it's kind of ridiculous.
Lord Brunson, thank you for the super chat, my man. Shout out to LB. He's in here. Everybody go sum him up. He says he could potentially be a Pro Bowler every year. If we're talking about, I would assume Dickerson, he could be all world. Yeah. It's just a health thing with him. If he's healthy, this is a steal, and I'm not, like I said, I have no problem with the pick. I just think that an injury guy like him, I think if you would have just waited a little bit, traded back up, I think you still could have got him. But, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. Big Moose, thank you for the super chat. He says, draft a solid B. Dickerson is a huge risk, high upside. Would have loved the cornerback there. Hopefully Howie addresses it. But who out there at cornerback in free agency? Who's the dude from I always forget his name.
Steven Nelson's available. He's pretty much the only solid. I mean, I don't know how he wasn't picked up yet. It's probably just because he's weighing his options to get a starting job probably after the draft is over. So he at least could call a team and see if he could sign somewhere. But Steven Nelson's 28, but very solid. Right. Still out there.
Right. And then so that was kind of how day 2 wrapped up. My personal opinions about day 2 is that they took some risks, and we're going to see, mainly in that second round. I think Milton, I have no problem with that pick at all. And the Dickerson pick, it's just the injuries concern me. I'm excited about his potential, though. And I hope he pans out because he looks like an absolute monster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he's healthy, he looks like he's going to tear people up.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it.
Just think about it, though, because even with Jeff Stalin, look what he's done with Jordan Mailata already, a rugby star turned into pretty much going to be a starting left tackle and hopefully for the future many more years. I mean, he's dealing with a 6'6", 325-pound center that's already well polished,
right?
And hopefully could put him in the right direction. And we just got to see that he stays healthy. And if that's the case, I mean, we never know, guys. It might work out. It might have been a big risk, but if this guy works out, are you set? You are set for a long time.
And we got over 500 people in the chat. 12 minutes in. Please please subscribe. Click the link in the description. Sub up my man Joey Shakes, the better half of the Philly Shakedown podcast. Believe me, because I'm a mess. But yeah, then we go into today, right? And with the first pick, their first 4th round pick, and only 4th round pick, they took cornerback Zeke McPherson. I kind of like this pick. I thought with Jonathan Gannon as a guy who develops defensive backs, I thought this was a pretty solid pick, and I actually liked it. What were your thoughts with it?
Yeah, I mean, we all know that, he's going to have flaws. I mean, some of these guys do have flaws. I've read some things that he's not great against the biggest receivers. The guys have flaws, but I think what we're going to count on with this pick, and obviously he's got a big opportunity. So obviously when he got that phone call, he knows he's got a big opportunity because of how thin we are at corner right now. Obviously, hopefully he brings in some undrafted corners, see if they can compete against him, see what we have. But sky's the limit for him and what he could do. And I think, you bring in more competition, see what he could do, and just see what happens. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work out or not, but he's got a big opportunity to start on the outside and do some good things. So
absolutely. Then in the 5th round, we take running back Kenneth Gainwell. What were your thoughts on this pick?
This was, other than DeVonta Smith, this was probably my favorite pick. And it's weird to say that because you see running back and you get weirded out by it. But he is an all-purpose yard, dual threat running back machine. So he took off in 2020 because of COVID, so he didn't play last year. 2019 was fantastic. I mean, he had 1,400 yards rushing, I think, on 52 carries. But not even just that, he he had over 600 yards of receiving yards as well. So you could line him up anywhere in the backfield. I mean, with everything we have, like weapon wise, you could do a lot of good things with him. And just think about it, guys. You're saying, well, we have Adrian Killens. That's probably not going to hit the field now. It's probably just going to play special teams if he even makes it there.
Yeah.
Walton Scott's on a 1-year deal. Jordan Howard's on a 1-year deal. You have Miles Sanders. Elijah Holyfield's on the practice squad right now, most likely.
Yep.
And you know what? At the end of the day, guys, like, this kid could do something. I mean, this kid could probably be a moving piece in that backfield with Miles Sanders on the field as well. You do a lot of great things with him.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Alex Epstein, man, thank you for the super chat. He said, just wanted to thank you guys for the live stream the past 3 days. Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys, joining us, really. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much. Trans, thank you for the super chat. He says, I need to see Dr. Pepe. Yeah, we're going to get into Dr. Pepe, I'm sure. We're going to get into this guy. Who the hell is Dr. Pepe? My thoughts on Kenneth Gainwell are the same as you. He was my favorite pick today. I think he's going to be a player that's going to impact this team, and he's going to play this year. I really like this pick. I was really happy with that pick. The next pick we had, and I don't know if I could say his name right, but we took defensive tackle Marlon Tupululudu. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Can never speak it, but that was a 6th round pick. Now he supposedly was a 3rd round talent, but I guess there's injury concerns and stuff. And to me personally, this was my pick that I liked the least today.
Right.
I just felt like, okay, another injury concerns. He didn't want to talk about the injury. We already kind of got a defensive tackle already last night. And I just was hoping at the time they were going to go linebacker or another defensive back. And, that's how I felt. This was probably and I'm not saying he can't be a good player or anything like that, but it was probably my least liked pick today.
Yeah. He was I think the 10th ranked. He was a 10th ranked defensive tackle, which is a good thing too. But obviously there is a secret hiding medical concern that he's not telling anybody about, or I don't know if it's that serious or what's going on. That's what he said, I guess, in an interview today. I was kind of surprised it was a defensive tackle. I was stunned it was a defensive tackle because I'm saying we already got Milton and now you're getting another one. So I don't know what they're trying to do. Are they trying to just get the trenches right? Or is there some assurance to where they think that this guy and Milton are going to work out? And, Fletcher Cox, is he going to have a down year this year? Is Javon Hargrave going to go back to what he used to be when he was with the Steelers? Obviously getting off the injury and switching schemes is important with that. But a lot of defensive linemen, Derek Barnett's going to be going after this year, making $10 million just to say that. And then Brandon Graham obviously could retire after this year. You're going to be down a couple guys. So
right. No, yeah, I agree. Joseph Vega. I see you, buddy. I see you. Welcome back to Throne Room of Dingbats, my friend. It is good to have you. Zoom meeting this week. I hope you'll be there. I hope you'll definitely be there. Let's see here. I think we have one more I want to get to. Robert Dredden, man, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, yo, fellas, big shout out. Thanks for holding it down. Now for a toast. Let me get a Dr. Pepe on the rocks. Straight no chases. But no cartwheels, my friend. No cartwheels. We got 598 people here. Please please subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here. Click the link in the description and sub up my man, Joey Shakes.
Appreciate it, guys.
So now we go. Let's go to the next pick here. So now we go to Taron Jackson, the defensive end. I like this pick a lot. From what I'm reading about him, what I'm hearing about him, I thought this was a good pick. I had no problem taking a defensive end because you were just saying we're going to need extra defensive ends. I didn't want the extra defensive tackle, but this and the next pick is my second favorite picks of today.
Yeah, no, I did like this pick a lot, and I think when you look at, like, obviously we talked about the defensive end, you kind of know what's there right now. Josh Sweat being that promising defensive end that's moving up a little bit, getting better every single year,
Right.
and kind of seeing what he's really got. Derek Barnett really needs to step up this year, not playing like a first-round pick, could barely stay healthy. So just to add a body to defensive end as of right now, because I really don't know much about the player. I haven't went over everything today just because I'm doing so much in one day since the draft just ended today. But to replace that position and just see some competition, who knows? This guy might come in and probably beat Derek Barnett. You never know at this point. So
absolutely. I thought this was a very, very good pick by the Eagles. No question about it. The next pick I actually really liked a lot too. Jacoby Stevens, technically the Eagles have him listed as the linebacker out of LSU. He's more of a safety linebacker type guy. And when they drafted him, I thought, well, why didn't you just take JOK in round 2? And you would have had, something a little more polished. But this guy has tremendous talent. I think they said he's up to 230 right now. And I'm sure he's going to be, an undersized linebacker, and that's how they're going to look to use him. But I like him. I like this pick a lot.
Yeah, I think what I like about him is he can move, like he can move around the field as well. You could switch. You could actually put him at safety. You could move him around if you have to. So he played multiple positions, and obviously it's just a wait and see approach with him. With the rest of this linebacker core, that's in a big competition right now. You got Jannard Avery going back to linebacker. You signed Eric Wilson, that's on a 1-year deal right now, and you got Sean Bradley. You got Davion Taylor, you drafted in the 3rd round last year, and there's a lot of unknowns. Alex Singleton is that gem. Will he hold his spot? Will he maintain his starting spot in 2021? We'll just have to see.
Yeah, I agree. Then with the last pick, because remember, we had a bunch of 6th-round picks, but during the draft, the Eagles traded a 6th and a 7th to Washington for a 5th-round pick next year. So that only left them with one more pick for the rest of the day. They take linebacker Patrick Johnson, but this sounds like an interesting pick. It sounds like he's very good as an edge rusher, and it sounds like they probably want to see if they can convert him to a defensive end. He's supposed to be very quick off the ball. One of the quickest releases off the ball is what I was reading. Sounds like almost like they want to use him as they wanted to use Jannard Avery, as a pass rushing type specialist. What were your thoughts on him?
So that's another defensive end, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I would add more bodies to it. I mean, I haven't really looked into him too much today. I haven't had time to get into everybody today, but if he's explosive coming off the ball, and obviously he just needs to learn how to, who's the coach for defensive line? I forgot his name. I forgot his name. But the more bodies you have, the more competition you have, and we'll just see what happens. We'll just see what happens with it.
Yeah. And so that kind of concluded the draft. Then we have, of course, the undrafted free agents. Also, some of the big news out of the draft was Zach Ertz did not get traded, did not get moved at all. I thought that was really, really bad. I'm not going to lie. I think that's bad because you're going to have him play next year, as your starter? And then you're going to have Dallas Goedert not get all the opportunities to prove that he's worth the contract extension. And then he's going to walk, or you're going to cut him. I thought that the Eagles have played the Zach Ertz thing completely wrong since 2019.
Yeah, they should have. I mean, they kept him for too long. Yeah, and honestly, you said you made a video a couple years ago saying, we should trade him. If there could be a trade coming, got to let Dallas Goedert do his thing. Let Nick Sirianni, kind of go through his skill set, and we just got to see him play. We really do, because to have Zach Ertz here, if Zach Ertz comes back, I'm telling you right now, they're going to put Zach Ertz in front of Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert's on his contract year, and we're not going to get anywhere. And then you're not going to know when to sign him or not. Right.
Top Dog says you all make excuses for the Eagles. What excuses do we make? I don't know. And then we got 3-Card Monty. All these Philly draft pundits that were criticizing the picks yesterday and earlier today are all of a sudden real high on the bums that Howie picked. Howie is a horrible at picking talent. I will agree with you. Howie is horrible at picking talent. I have no confidence in Howie Roseman picking anything, not even his nose. However, you can't deny the talent of a guy like Landon Dickerson. Now, he's trying to get him for a bargain, hoping he's going to stay healthy. I don't care for the placement of that player. But I don't think he's a bum. I don't think Milton was a bum.
No.
And I don't think those guys are bummed, but that doesn't mean that I love Howie Roseman. Ain't no endorsement of Howie Roseman here, buddy. I don't know where you've been.
And number two, we're not praising anybody. If you know what, there might be a pick we don't like. It doesn't mean that the player that they drafted is not good. But even you take the running back that we drafted, like, was it the pick we needed right now? Probably not. But
right.
We have to go over: is this guy a good player? Is he going to make a difference for the Philadelphia Eagles? And I say, yeah, he is going to. So we're not trying to downplay it that these are all bad picks. There are some bad ones. There are some ones that are a huge risk. But at the end of the day, we need to see what we have right now, and we'll be honest of who's good, who's bad. We're not going to steer you the wrong way with these picks.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing. Well, we know. I mean, DeVonta Smith, we love that pick. Okay, all of us were wanting JOK or Asante Samuel Jr. second round. I don't know how many times I can say it. I don't think the Landon Dickerson pick at that spot was the right pick. Not that they shouldn't have got him. I think they should have picked JOK or Asante Samuel Jr. or somebody who plays, and then come back and get him and pay the cost of draft picks to get the guy. I think I would understand that more, because now I would have two definite starters and this kid for the future. So my issues are not even with some of the players that they drafted. It was more Howie Roseman management of the draft. So nobody's making excuses with him. I have a big problem with the way they did the 70-73 trade back for a 6th round pick. But you can't deny that this kid's talented and he's not good.
You got to think of it like this too. Like we have we're going to have like 10 draft picks. So we had that 5th round pick. You potentially have 10 draft picks next year with potentially 3 first round picks. So some of these moves that we made in this draft are obviously future moves. Like a Dickerson pick would be more of a future move, even though we wanted a day 1 starter with your 2nd pick. I mean, that's what we wanted. Right. We wanted Asante Samuel. We wanted JOK. We at least wanted somebody to stick on the field and say, hey, this is a building piece. This is a good player, and he's there. But, by next year, guys, like, we don't know what's going to happen. Howie Roseman might be out the door. I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't want Howie Roseman picking those 3 first round
But I'm telling you right now, though, like, if it's going to have those picks next year, those 3 first rounders, I'm telling you right now, a GM is going to want to come here in a half a second.
Absolutely.
It's going to be an attractive job opening, because, oh my God, they have 10 picks. They got 3 first rounds. I'm going to turn this team around. And we're setting someone up for success than to give them to Howie and set up for disaster.
Right. I agree. Joseph Vega, thank you for super chat. We have 3 first round picks next year. Howie will take one good player and draft people like he was in the 4th round. We need Steven Nelson or a vet. I don't want Howie picking next year, okay? Not in the 1st round. But I think that we need to recognize that. I think, and my brother said this to me earlier, and I agree with him. The Eagles, they're not drafting for next year. I don't even think they care. They may not even care if they have a corner next year or not. They're thinking of 2-3 years down the road. If you look at the way they drafted after the DeVonta Smith pick, they were drafting for 2 or 3 years down the road, not for next year. That's just the truth of it, Kyle, thank you for the super chat. He says, I can't believe cornerback Christopher Rousset went undrafted out of Wake Forest. Guy had 5 interceptions last year, 3 for touchdowns, 27 pass defense. Well, if he went undrafted, who the hell's signing him? Because we need to go and get him right away. You know what I mean? G-Code likes our undrafted players. That's good. I mean, we usually do a decent job in those situations.
Yeah, we have.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, look, I have no problem with Dickerson being picked. I have a problem with the placement of it. Same thing with that 70-73 trade back. So, essentially, you got that falls on Howie Roseman. Now, we won't know if Dickerson pans out until we know if he can play and stay healthy. Same thing with all these guys. It's going to take time. We only really got 1 starter out of this draft. We needed 2. That's what I thought,
It's crazy. It's crazy to think after that first pick, like, we thought maybe the formula of this draft was changing. But I think we've gotten some between like Dickerson and I'm going to keep reading his name because I keep Kenneth Gainwell is getting him. It's just they weren't at the right times of this draft. They're good players, but just weren't at the right the placements, like you said.
Absolutely. Tim says, after thinking about how many first rounders we have next year, I didn't hate this draft. We got a lot of first rounders next year, but I don't want Howie taking them. You know what I mean? They got to be picks that are going to be contributing right away, but maybe that's part of their thinking, hey, we're thinking 2 years down the road. Yeah. Next year, we'll be thinking 1 year down the road. Peter says, Howie missed out on Jabril Cox, Asante Samuel Jr., JOK, and Dylan. You agree? I agree.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Let everybody go right by him. I mean, definitely.
Takeem says, we already signed the corner. Okay, that's great. That's what we need.
Who do we sign?
I think the Wake Forest corner he's talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's great if that's the case. Michael Case, thank you for super chat. What's our undrafted free agents looking like? Who do we grab? You got the list? You want to read it off to him?
Yeah, I got it. So far, the corner that we just said for Wake Forest, him. We have Nebraska tight end Jack Stroll. We have Indiana center Harry Kreider. Iowa State defensive end Jaquan Bailey, another defensive end. Georgia QB Jamie Newman, Texas A&M wide receiver Jamon Osborne, and Florida wide receiver Trevon Grimes.
I like the Grimes pickup, and they're saying Newman's a quarterback. I didn't know much about him. That's cool. Freddie says, and thank you, Freddie, for the super chat. He says, maybe Howie is gone next season, and we pick up a linebacker with one of our first-round picks next year. Yeah, look, Howie is going to take a lot of heat. The heat is going to be on him. Thank you for the super chat. I don't want him picking the first three picks, the first 3 rounds. And we also got to pray, man. We got to pray like Miami is really bad. Like they just stink. And they're like a top 5 pick,
Yep.
Here's Mad Hater. Mad Hater says, you guys are morons. Philly 500 and Joey Shakes is leading the way. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate that. You dingbat. Like, oh, boo, you hurt my feelings. Oh, give a shit, dude. Take a hike.
Come
on now. I just wonder, what does he want us to say? I don't know. I think we're being pretty fair. When you get people on like both sides telling you that you want the other way, then you're usually right where you need to be.
Yeah, we don't mind criticism at all. Like, I don't care if we get criticism. Like, it is what it is. Like, we're not always right either. We're not at ESPN analysis. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, I don't trust Howie as far as I could throw him. But when I look at a pick like the Dickerson pick, I understand the talent the guy has. We've all heard about it. It is what it is. Oh, here you go. Matt Hatter said, we had a good draft, but where were you? When did you come in here? Like 10 minutes ago? Were you here like the first 15 minutes when we were talking about all the picks?
I've never even seen that name, period.
We didn't even say we hated the draft. Nobody said we had a bad draft. Nobody said it. All that I said was I did not like the draft placement of a couple of these guys. Like, example, I think you could have waited on Dickerson, got yourself a starter at 37, and traded back in for him.
Yeah.
Just like I also didn't like the fact that you traded from 70 to 73, and then you lost your target. And then you draft Milton, who could turn out to be a good player. That is not good. I didn't like that. That doesn't mean I hated the whole draft. I don't think we said we hated anybody. There's no pick I said I hated.
No.
You?
No,
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Mr. Hater. You should change your name, Mad Hatter, to Mad Hater. Samuel, thank you for super chat, my man. Appreciate it. I don't know. Philly 500 and Mark Holmes talk. He knew he was streaming him. Yeah, well, Mark asked me. He asked me if he could stream. I said, sure, you could stream me if you want. I mean, it's only promoting me. What do I care? C. Fuller says, we always have had great defensive tackles going back forever. Cox is gone soon. That's true. I think they're looking for the next duo. Same with Dickerson and the O-line. Yeah, I think so too. And I think a lot of their philosophy in this draft was not next year. A lot of us fans, we think oh, what are we going to get next year to fill holes next year? I think the Eagles are not thinking about that. They're thinking about the next 2 years.
There's a lot of different things they could do, especially if you look at the offensive line too. Like already having Nate Herbig and Jack Driscoll back there, and already having Jordan Mailata be your starting left tackle already. Like you don't know what's going to happen with Brandon Brooks. That's still on a pretty big contract, and Lane Johnson. That's just has these nagging injuries the past couple of years, and just he's getting hurt every year. So you never know what could happen, guys. And we have guys to replace them too. We do
absolutely. Samaj, man, thank you for the super sticker, man. Appreciate it. I don't know where Dylan Moses wound up. Somebody's saying he will sign with the Eagles, but I have a feeling it's fake news because I wanted him.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Let's see. Pierce says, I would draft a grade overall a C or C plus. How about you? I'm going to do a grade video tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm going to give it right now. I will say, only because I've said this before, A plus plus on day one. I need to think about day two a little bit more, and then day three. There's some of these guys I need to learn more about. So we'll see. But I have, like I said, I have no problem with the players. I understand the Dickerson pick. I like the Mill. I just don't like the management of the picks and the placement of where Howie Roseman goes. Sometimes I think, like guys like, remember Sidney Jones? Like he didn't need to take Sidney Jones in the second round. He could have waited. I think he could have waited with this kid. It's hard for me to believe that this kid was going in the next 2 to 3 picks. I just don't believe it. I think you could have waited with that many injuries, Joey. I mean, that's a lot of injuries, no?
Yeah, a little bit. That's to kind of take a chance on. Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. Scott, he says, like I said before, Eagles drafted pretty well. I'm not an Eagles fan, but I respect everyone. I like a lot of the picks you guys made. Yeah, I like a lot of the picks we made too. I mean, me and Joey said it, Philly Fan Deep, thank you for super chat. He says, appreciate the talk and analysis, buds. Enjoyed the other guy who's trying to grow his channel. Yeah. Tone DeShields II. Shout out to him. Yes, definitely. Let's see here. Matt Hatter. Why don't you believe in Howie? He won a Super Bowl 3 years ago after a 60-year drought. Matt Hatter, do you have another name by Abe Lincoln? Because I get the same question. Howie Roseman won a Super Bowl 3 years ago. So does that mean that every wrong move after he should be not held accountable for?
I think he's trolling.
How long should we wait?
I
get this all the time. Believe me. Howie Roseman stinks. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think he got lucky in 2017, if we're really going to be honest about it. But I have no choice but to hope he drafts the right guys. Yeah. He did a great job on day one, and I gave him credit. I was talking about he got big balls, all this stuff. I gave him all the credit in the world. So I don't know what you want from me.
We have an update on the undrafted free agent tracker right now. The Eagles are signing undrafted free agent tackle guard out of Buffalo, Coyote Awosika. So we have tackle guard.
I don't know who he is.
No idea.
But we'll take him. We got 697 people in the chat. Thank you guys for joining us on episode 4 of the Philly Shakedown podcast. Make sure you click the link in the description. Sub Up Joeyshakes. That's where next week's episode will be. So you guys don't want to miss that, Look, I don't want to take anything from Howie. I really don't. He did a good job. He won a Super Bowl in 2017. It's great. But right now, after the Super Bowl, we've gone from being a Super Bowl contender to this. He's also responsible for that. He also has to be held accountable for things and misses. And that's just the way it is. So that's how I see it,
Yeah, no, like, you know what? You're not gonna get away with signing 1-year deals to so many players that want to come here. You're gonna have to do the hard work and rebuild this team. And unfortunately, Howie Roseman has rewarded too many contracts of veterans that weren't consistent on a consistent level every single year, rewarding them for a Super Bowl win to keep the roster together and try to keep it the same the past few years. And when you miss on your draft picks, you keep restructuring your old players over and over again. And I think this year it caught up to us. Like most of the time, 500, this team has been pretty resilient by the end of the year. When this team was backed into a corner, we bit back a lot of times, and we did really well. Like, we became a very resilient team. Right. This year, this team really broke apart. This team totally failed on all aspects.
Yeah, that's a great point. Great point. I mean, you know, when you have to go out and spend a lot of money in free agency and things like that, a lot of times that's to you know, basically hide the holes of missed draft picks. He does not do a good job with draft picks. He's a great trader. I would love how he did negotiate any trade, any day. Great at trades. But he hasn't been good at evaluating talent. It's not because he can't. It's because they base too much on analytics. Yep. You know, we've seen these reports where Jeff McClain and other people put out where literally you have your scouting department and an analytic department. They don't agree on like anything. And Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman both hold analytics to a high standard. That's why you guys see PFF will be like, this pick the Eagles made is ranked this and ranked that and ranked that. And then it doesn't pan out. It's because it's such a high analytic-based projection. And I don't think you can do that, in my opinion.
When we drafted Kevon Wallace, they said he was the steal of the draft. He was ranked high on PFF as well as probably one of the top safeties in the draft. And I mean, obviously, I can't really blame him. I can't blame any player from the 2020 season. Like, I really can't. No. That's why when I see people be specific about what players are bust or what players shouldn't be here, it's kind of like a long shot to even say that, just because our quarterback wasn't even right. Our defense was playing favorites. It's just.
No, I agree. Totally agree. Just Blaze says, yo, 500, what's your thoughts on Dallas getting Parsons followed up by Jabril Cox? The Parsons, you know, I was okay with the Parsons pick. That made sense. But when they got Jabril Cox, that kind of pissed me off. I'm not going to lie.
Probably an insurance for Van Der Esch because he gets hurt every single year. He's he's pretty much Sean Lee 2.0 now.
Yep, exactly. Hal says, the Zach McPherson pick out Texas Tech sucks. Just seems like another 5'11" corner with average athleticism to be burnt. Didn't really like day 3 at all, except Jacoby Stevens. I like the Zeke McPherson pick. I actually did. I mean, you're talking about 4th-round cornerback, a guy that has a family that plays sports, played football, fairly athletic from what I was reading about him. To me, it sounded like if you get him with Gannon, who's a developer of defensive backs, and if he looked at him and said that, you know, I could develop this kid, I was all for it, you know. So I was okay with that pick personally.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
We fans forget the injury bug has lived in our locker room for 2 years in a row now. Well, yeah, that's part of why some people are scared of the Dickerson pick, because we deal with the injuries so much. You know what I mean?
And more than 2 years. I mean, we've been dealing with this since the Super Bowl, pretty much.
Yep, I agree. Joey, my man, he says, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This was a bad draft. Smith was good. Then we got a guy in the second with 2 ACL tears, 2 ankle injuries at 37. Only one cornerback, which was our biggest need, and a ton of D linemen that isn't a need. I understand what you're saying. Look, the 37th pick, I understand the talent around the guy. Like I said, if they wanted him, I think they should have waited and picked 37 and then done something else. But I hear you. You know,
I feel like I feel like those defensive linemen would have got one of those guys later on anyway. I think they would have had one of those guys regardless who they picked with 37. I think they could have got a couple of those guys that were still on the board. I don't see why not.
Yeah, and Charlie says, well, I guess Howie went brain dead after the Smith pick. There's a lot of question about it. My man Chad says, I hate it when you ignore me. I'm not ignoring anybody, man. You know I love you. You know I love you. But it's 713 people in here, and I'm on StreamYard, which means that it's going to all of a sudden freeze the chat and then all of a sudden send them sky high. Very hard to keep up here on it. But if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. This is episode 4 of the Philly Shakedown podcast. Next week, we're on Joey's channel. So click the link in the description and make sure you sub them up.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Legend Killer says, I haven't replaced Dawkins or got a decent safety in the draft since he left. Haven't had a decent linebacker in the draft in a while. Just Kendricks and Hicks. One had injuries. The other one was an ass. Same with cornerback. The Eagles, I mean, Chip Kelly valued linebackers, and he got us some, and they really helped us that season. But yeah, they don't value some people.
Oh, there's
the G code.
G code with the normal emojis.
Those are the emojis I know.
Just when you say like, we haven't replaced Dawkins, like, look, like, you don't just draft a Dawkins easily. Like, you don't draft these great players easily. I thought Malcolm Jenkins was such a steal. When we got him, it was a total steal, and obviously he covered a lot of band-aids in this secondary. On game day, you never worried about the defense because Malcolm Jenkins was there. You knew the defense was always ready every single week, and obviously when you lose that, now there's no voice. You're depending on something to happen with this defense, and obviously nothing happened last year. So I'm hoping we have some type of voice in the coming future of this team. So especially defensively,
right. Joseph Vega says, Philly 500, listen, if the O-line and defensive front four stay healthy, we are good. This draft class will have time to learn and step in. We need a veteran corner. We are bad over there. Drafted too many injured players. I mean, there was really only two guys I know that were really injured. Is there anybody else that I'm missing that were
the last pick of the draft? That linebacker didn't he was coming off an ACL last year? I think.
I didn't know that. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, I read that today.
Yeah, so you drafted three guys with injury concerns. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It really is. I don't like the whole injury concern thing. I get very sick of it too. Does your opinion change? And I'm asking everybody, does your opinion change of this draft if you think of it in terms of you're drafting for 2 years down the road and not next year? How does that change your opinion of how you see the draft? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Chad says, we did replace Dawkins with Jenkins, but we discarded him just like Dawkins. That was because Jenkins was talking about Wentz. I don't know if he was the guy or not. I really don't. Chris, thank you for the super chat. So Kenneth Gainwell is Fletcher Cox's cousin. That's what they said. Yeah.
Yep, that's what I read.
That was my favorite pick today. No question about it. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. A running back is our favorite pick.
I know. Well, favorite today.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. Yeah.
500, you were having dreams about DeVonta Smith the night after. I never slept so well in my life. And Joey was like, I'm going to bed. And I'm like, yeah, I hit the pillow. I was out. DeVonta Smith just running through my head. Over the moon. And I woke up and I'm like, did that really happen? And then I was listening to Howie. He was talking about how they made mistakes and they're sticking the board. I'm going, we're going to get JOK. Something's going to happen, And then boom. We pass on DK Metcalf because of injury concerns. This is what the black line, this is what pisses me off because it only seems like we pass on injury guys when it fits the narrative of what they want.
It's a huge excuse. Yeah.
It is. I mean, they only passed on DK Metcalf because of injury concerns. Yet, you have the second pick in the set. You have your second round pick. So it was your last second round pick. That's the time to take a chance on him, So, I don't buy the whole we pass on DK Metcalf because of injury concerns. I think they passed on DK Metcalf because analytics told them that J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was a steal. That's what I really honestly think. And
four ACLs, well, we'll take them.
Yeah, right. If the analytics say take them, they'll take them. If they don't, or if there's questions, they won't. And I think that's what it was. And honestly, that's what I really think it was.
Yeah.
And then they just say, well, how are they going to justify it? Well, medical concerns. If you watch that combine, there were no medical concerns for me. I was so done. He was a top 10 pick as far as I was concerned. Joey says, Philly, can I get a super early record prediction for the season? Remember, 17 games. Super early, man. That is, I didn't even come out with the schedule. I'll say this. I think the Eagles can win anywhere from 7 to 10 games this year, depending upon Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I said 7 to 9.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, that's what I think. And part of it is that because I don't think the division's that good. I know Dallas thinks they're winning the Super Bowl now, but wait until they find out that Parsons can't cover shit. Chris Holman, thank you for the super chat. He says, do you think Gainwell pick is a steal Philly? Yes. Yes, I do. I think he's going to play this year. I think he's going to contribute. I think he may take over for Boston Scott at some point.
And this means too that you can let Boston Scott walk, you can let Jordan Howard walk, and you won't have to spend any money at that position next year at all, which is great.
Yeah. Smitty to Philly, thank you for the super chat. He said, you know what? We signed Trevon Grimes from the undrafted free agent. 6'4", 218, very physical receiver. I like it. I like it too. I think he's going to have a shot to make this team too.
So Philly, who's the odd man out with that receiver group? If Trevon Grimes comes in, who's the odd man out? Do you think he could beat?
So how many receivers do we think they keep? 4 or 5, right? I say DeVonta Smith, lock. Rager, lock. You have Quez Watkins, I think he's going to win that starting job. You have Fulgham, you have Hightower, you have J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, you have Ward. Arcega-Whiteside, he's gone.
Hightower might be gone from this too. He might.
I think you're going to have somebody who will get a phantom injury and go on IR. That'll get rid of one guy. I think Arcega-Whiteside's gone. I think Hightower is in trouble. And I also think the guy that may be out is Greg Ward Jr.
You think so, huh?
I think it's possible. If you move Rager to the slot, right? If you move Rager to slot, let's say Quez Watkins and Fulgham are the two guys that are going to see, because you're going to have DeVonta Smith, your ex, right? Then you're going on the other side, you're going to have a battle. I think it's going to be Hightower, Fulgham, and Quez Watkins on the other outside. I think Rager goes to the slot, and who's going to win that battle? You know, that's going to be questioned. A kid like Grimes, he could end up on the practice squad. He could end up something like that. That's where I see him. But you got a lot of young receivers. You got a lot of them. You're going to have a phantom injury. You know, Smitty to Philly, thank you so much for the super chat. I think it's J.J. Arcega's Whiteside's time to take over at punter. He probably could kick it pretty far. You know, any guy holding an umbrella could probably kick a ball. I don't know.
Perfect quote.
Yeah. Drew, thank you for the super chat. What up, guys? Get JJ out of here, stat. I'm telling you. I mean, who do you think makes it? Like, how do you think that it's going to shape up?
It's got to be, if you're saying if they move Rager to the slot.
Wait, before you say that, do we have an expanded roster now?
Oh, we can keep. I thought it was 2
guy, right?
I thought it was 2 extra practice.
I forgot all about that.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we can go further than that question. How about we go further and say we heard the news about Howie Roseman having final say on that 53-man roster. That's going to be. I want to see if that's even true because Nick said that.
That's what they said, and that scares me. God. You know, you imagine you have coaches watching one guy, you know, some battle going on between 2 guys. Coaches love this guy because of his work ethic, all this stuff. And then Howie Roseman looks at the contract, looks at the analytics, and then makes a decision. I hate that. I really absolutely hate that, you know. Philly Swag, thank you for the super chat. Arcega as a tight end project, what do you go think? I don't know, man. He's got an umbrella. I just can't get over the umbrella.
He just pisses me off now. I can't even look at him anymore. That's just the truth.
I know. It's absolutely crazy. Joseph Vega, you're saying I missed a super chat. I see nothing here.
I didn't see anything pop up.
Let me look on here. Sometimes for whatever reason, it does not show up on he did send a super chat. But for whatever reason, it's not on StreamYard. Why is that? Why does it do that? Joseph Vega, thank you for the super chat, my man. I can't post it because the StreamYard's not showing up, but I do got to hear. He says, breaking news, Rodgers says he will retire in 1 month unless they fire the GM. If our O-line and defensive front four stay healthy, our draft can learn. We can learn. Yeah. So Rodgers says he's going to retire. Man, he really wants out, doesn't he?
He wants to be a game show host, bro. He wants to do different things. I think he just...
You think he's just looking for an excuse?
everyone thinks since he got married, like his wife has had a huge say in his career. That's just me. A lot of people have said that.
What I don't understand about the whole thing, though, is where did this come from? We didn't hear anything about this until Thursday. Like, he didn't give anybody any time.
He did it on draft day on purpose. Like, he did it as like to be spiteful towards Green Bay and pretty much mess up their draft plans. Like, that just totally just, I mean, it didn't, I don't think it messed up anything because they drafted Jordan Love, but it kind of interfered with what they were doing for the day. That's definite. But.
Yeah. Joe Thomas says, Arcega has been babied. I don't think he's totally useless. He just isn't developed. The guy had his mom carrying an umbrella around on a sunny day for him. I don't know how much more babied you can get than that. You know what I mean? Smitty Duke Billy, thank you so much for the super chat. Who's worse, Arcega Whiteside or Nate Gary? Well, I'll say Nate Gary only because they put him on the field more. He infuriated me.
I'll say Nate Gary is better because he's done more on the field.
He's also made more mistakes because he's on the field more. Dennis Watson, thank you for the super chat. He says, I don't care what you're talking about. All I know is number 37 was on Pepe and how he listened to it like a weirdo. Facts. I got a hit on Pepe, though. Laugh out loud. Dr. Pepe. Man.
What a laugh.
Oh, my gosh. David, thank you so much for super chat. He says, give a grade to each team in our division. Well, I'm going to save the grades for tomorrow. I will say this. I think Dallas had a really good draft.
Yeah, they did.
I think Dallas had a really good draft. I think the Giants at times had a good draft, and then they blew some opportunities. And I need to go really actually look at what Washington did even more. D. Coop, the man, he says Dallas signed a free agent wide receiver with the last name Eagles on it. How about that? So you got a wide receiver with Eagles on it, and we got a guy with the name Dallas. That's interesting. Ushing, thank you for a super chat. He says, JJ and the Water Boy make the best duo. They both keep the bench. They both keep the bench cool down. Yes. Man, you guys. Man, so I don't know, Joe. Like, what is your take, like, from what you're hearing people in the chat? Do you think they didn't like this draft? They did like this draft? What are your thoughts? Like,
I think it's honestly up and down. Like, I think people are conflicted because with that, I think that second pick really made everybody furious just because it's somebody that's not going to start this year. Right. It's not a building piece right now, but obviously it's the injuries, and obviously it's pretty much just that. And then kind of not really expanding on more depth at corner. You're kind of just, you drafted a corner, and I guess we drafted we have another undrafted corner now. So I mean, I think because everything was so shuffled around and we picked some random positions, we beefed up the defensive line. I mean, between undrafted and drafted defensive linemen, there's about 4 or 5. I mean, it's pretty deep right now. So you really care about the trenches right now.
Absolutely. Curtis asked, Philly, did they trade Zach Ertz yet? No, they did not trade him. And Christine says, I think Howie was trying to fill spots that were going to be next year because Kelsey is going to retire, Cox maybe, and Graham is going to retire. That's why they got D-lines and O-line, fly, Eagles, fly. Well, that goes back to what we were saying earlier, that it seems like they almost were focusing on 2 years down the road instead of getting spots now. It seems like that, Joseph Vega, thank you so much for super chat. I got this one. He says, Rodgers says they aren't trying to help him. They didn't even draft a wide receiver in the first round. He doesn't like the GM and won't play for him. He will give $23 million back. Wow. Question is Joseph Vega trying to hint that we should go after Aaron Rodgers? Joseph, are you saying the Eagles need to go after Aaron Rodgers? That's what I wanted to. Tony wants us to go over the list of. We did go over the list of undrafted free agents actually twice. Joe, would you read that one more time for my man here?
Yeah, I got it.
In case he was late and he didn't hear.
Let's see. I want to make sure it's not updated or whatnot. All right, so we have. Let me go down this list. So we have Nebraska tight end Jack Stroll. We have Indiana center Harry Kreider, Iowa State defensive end Jaquan Bailey, Georgia QB Jamie Newman, Texas A&M wide receiver Jamon Osborne, Florida wide receiver Trevon Grimes. I know we signed an offensive lineman just not even a few minutes ago that could play tackle and guard.
Grimes is the one I like the best. I like the Grimes one. Which Kings? I think Sirianni will be a breath of fresh air for the receivers. I do too. I honestly think if we didn't have Sirianni, I think that we would not have DeVonta Smith. I can't prove it, but I think, Yeah. Brandon says if anybody would say no to Rodgers, they just don't care about winning. Well, would you pay 4 first-round picks for him?
No.
Like, how much would you have to give up for Rodgers at 36 years old? That's what I want to know. Tyler says, now I'm 100% happy with this draft. We took the unsexy picks this year. Now all Hurts has to do is have 7-9 win season, and we will kill it in free agency next and draft. Well, look, this first round was exciting. Next year, we're going to be sitting there, Joey, going, we got 3 first-round picks tonight. Like, we got 3 first-round picks. Hopefully we're picking, like, Miami's picking 3 overall, something like that,
Nick Sirianni said about DeVonta Smith, he thinks it's like, DeVonta Smith reminds him of a mixture of Keenan Allen and Devontae Adams, which is kind of crazy.
That's kind of amazing, really.
Yeah.
I think he reminds me of Marvin Harrison. Jake says, Philly wasn't a Darius Washington undrafted. Yeah, he's undrafted. I think the Ravens signed him is what I heard, which sucks, Parker, thank you for your super chat. 3 defensive players in the first round next year. I have no idea. I mean, look, you're dealing with the first round. You have to go best player available. You know what I mean? You have to. Limit says he's 37 though. If you aren't in win now, no reason to trade a haul for him. Yeah, I agree. And the Eagles, they have a lot of holes. You know what somebody said to me early today in the in my stream? They said that Sirianni was putting out hints for DeVonta Smith all since he did the paper scissors and stuff, because apparently that was him and somebody else's touchdown celebration.
Right.
They would play paper. That was what they would do with their touchdown. So when Sirianni was saying it, he was hinting that that's who he's going for. I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm a conspiracy theorist at heart, so I love that stuff. Kelvin says, great seeing you two work. Is J.J. Arcega-Whiteside highlight we watch from college garbage or can translate into the NFL? What was his scouting report? Kelvin, thanks so much for the super chat. The thing with him, it was all about like his red zone catching in at the high point. He catches in traffic, red zone threat. It was those kind of things with him. None of it seems like it translated.
It was more of like he's like an Alshon Jeffrey type, obviously possession receiver, but with a little bit more elusiveness in his feet and can move a little bit quicker. But obviously, I don't even think we've seen a flash from him. Maybe 1 or 2 passes in 2019. Right. You know what I mean? Other than that, that was pretty much it.
Yeah. So we got 753 people here. Thank you so much for being here. Please please subscribe. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. And click the link in the description. Sub up my man Joey Shakes, the better half of the Philly Shakedown podcast. So watching the press conference with Howie, Andy and Nick, I got this idea that maybe Howie thinks of like wanting to use analytics in early rounds and then going with the scouts later. Yeah, but I actually had that thought myself.
They're not doing that though.
I mean, I don't know what they're doing later in the round. It seems like why do they always have a better day 3, but the day 2 is always bad? You know what I mean? Like, why? Why is the day 2 always bad?
It seems like they're using more common sense for the first pick, and then they go by analytics, or I don't know.
Yeah, mad as fuck. Watkins, thank you for the super chat. Love the name. I hope mad as fuck Watkins tears it up this year and wins that other job on the other side. He said, PSA, public service announcement. The Colts still drafted a quarterback. Let's go Eagles. They did. They drafted the kid from, where was it, Texas or whatever?
Oh, no. Did Carson get his feelings hurt?
I wonder.
Is he okay?
Trying to see if he requested a trade yet.
Oh, God.
Thank you, buddy, for the super chat, man. Appreciate that so much. Rumor has it Wentz is in bed crying and considering.
I love it. I remember when what was it when Aaron Rodgers became available or whatever, when everything was going on. I think E-Rock, I think he tweeted at the Colts, he's like, no takebacks.
That's awesome.
So funny.
That's hilarious. Jock talks says, hey, Philly and Joey. Well, hey, Joey, Philly, what's up? How are you? We're great, man. How are you?
Jock, what's up, man?
Philly Style TV, my man. He says, am I the only Eagles fan that don't believe in DeVonta Smith? I think you might be. I'm tired of overpaying for undersized wide receivers. We've seen this too many times. DK. Look, I love DK Metcalf. I understand the whole sentiment about small receivers. I really think that you're going to be happy with DeVonta Smith. I think he's a monster. I think you're going to like him, and you're going to forget really quick, how good he is. Just my opinion. I hope I'm right, because we can't afford to be missing on that pick. We can't be. We just can't. Let's see here. I wish Aaron Rodgers was our quarterback trying to get rid of our GM. I know, right? But the one thing is, if he wants to get rid of his GM, I don't know that he wants to come play with our GM,
Yeah.
Carson's reportedly eating some ice cream in his bed crying. Well, I'm going to be streaming a lot of Colts this year because of the first-round pick. So run, fat man, run is all I can say, No doubt about it. DK is no DeVonta Smith. DeVonta Smith is best route runner in this draft, Joey. Yeah. I think maybe one of the best hands in this draft. And I'm going to say this, and I said this all season, so it wasn't like I'm saying it now because they drafted him. DeVonta Smith, in my opinion, would be listed better than Chase if he weighed the same.
You know what's crazy? I've watched some sports science on DeVonta Smith like last night just to see, and they said like his hands are averagely above average than normal like NBA player hands. His arms are a lot wider for his posture, for his size of his body, which he gets away with a lot of these passes because he's so lengthy when he goes up with that athleticism he has.
Yeah, I think he's a stud. Ushing, thank you for super chat. He says Smith the next Hopkins. Hey, if we get that, we're going to be okay. You know what I mean? That would be awesome. MJ, man, thank you for the super chat. He says, Trucker Philly MJ wanted to let you guys know that there's a video of Kenneth Gainwell double moonwalking linebacker Michael Parsons' ass. Fly, Eagles, fly. Yes, I heard about that. I still haven't watched it.
It's great. He put him on his butt. Yeah. I think the only thing about I think I always forget his name, what Kenneth the only thing that has struck me about him that he's got his pass blocking isn't fantastic. So that's the one thing that's really not good about him. I mean, other than that, he could pick up blitzes pretty easily. I mean, he's physical, very physical.
Yeah. Joseph Vega, thank you for the super chat, my man. He says Hooker have a lot of holes too, and most are very worn out. Yet they still get paid. So why can't we get Rodgers? He's 36 and he is damn bare the best quarterback. No, he is. Look, he's a great quarterback. I mean, but man, you're going to have to give up your future. So
our roster is not ready for this at all. We don't have a set roster.
Right. If we were one person away, I would agree. But I get the love for what he does. I do. I get it. Paul Mancini has a prediction for DeVonta Smith's numbers: 52 receptions, 785 yards, and 6 touchdowns. I mean, that for a rookie year, that's not bad.
But I expect the ball to be thrown around to everybody. It's not just him. It's going to open up everything for Rager if he's in the slot.
Right.
Dallas Goedert using tight ends. That's what Nick Sirianni likes. And whoever's starting opposite side, if we put Rager in the slot, maybe Travis Fulgham, Quez Watkins will get their chance. So you never know.
I'm going to go on the limb right now. I believe DeVonta Smith will win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Woo.
There you go. Right there. You heard it there. Episode 4 of the Philly Shakedown. He will be Offensive Rookie of the Year. Mark these words, record this, loop it, send it to Mark Homer. I don't care what you do, Dr. Pepe, whatever the hell his name is. We don't care. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Smitty to Philly, thank you so much for the super chat. It'd be the people that never stepped on a football field that think Devontae's weight is a problem. When did weight become more important than talent? To me, it hasn't. It never was. That's why he was always one of my top 4 picks that I wanted in this draft.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think about what he did in that bowl game. I mean, you remember that bowl game? People were going nuts. He was going off. I love him, dude. JD White, thank you so much for super chat. He says the Score app graded us A- in the draft, the best draft in our division.
What?
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Rookie of the year 6, but that's right, rookie of the year. I love that pick. You know, I think Marvin Harrison said Smith would win offensive. He said it too. I didn't know he said that. I agree with him. But I bet you Marvin Harrison's probably thinking he reminds him of himself.
I thought Chad Johnson said something about DeVonta Smith as well. He said something really good about him too, because I think Chad said he was small coming into the league as well. And
I think he said that he weighed the same amount as him.
Yeah,
you know. So we got 786 people in the chat. Please please subscribe. Click the link in the description. Sub up the better half of the Philly Shakedown. Sub up Joeyshakes. Next week we will be on his channel. And it'll be interesting, you know. Let's see here. Wide receiver at once, even Cole's Beasley bigger than that. He's not 166 though. I think Jonathan Gannon can help the defense. Was he a defensive coordinator in the Colts? He was I don't think he was a defensive coordinator.
He was a cornerback coach.
Right? Yeah. He's very good supposedly at developing defensive backs, you know.
Xavier, and a good example I could talk about is Xavier Rhodes. You know, he was a good corner for the Vikings, got that big contract, really played horrible the last 2 years he was there. Then obviously they let him go. He signed with the Colts that 1 year, and he played fantastic under Jonathan Gannon, turned his career around. And he's 31 years old. He was 30 years old at the time. So pretty good.
Yeah, very good. No question about it. So we're about an hour and 10 minutes in, guys. We'll do about another 5 minutes or so.
That's fine.
And then we're going to cut this. It's been a long day. It was over 6.5 hours of streaming today. We did 5.5 hours yesterday, and then 4.5 the night before. So I want to decompress before I run through a wall. You know what the thing is, I notice is when you stream long hours like this, it's the same feeling. If you want to know what it feels like afterward, it's like driving on a 10-hour, 12-hour trip. That's how I feel. Just where you're just kind of you feel like, you've been looking at the same direction for
I feel
hours.
like it's when it was back in school when you watched videos in class and you were just sitting there.
Right.
That's how I felt like too.
I feel like it's
it was fun though. It was
my
fun.
God, it's a blast. It's so much fun. I think 6.5 hours. I think that was my longest stream ever. I wonder how the hell Bad Dog did 24 hours, dude. I don't know how he does it. The King, man, he says, think Chad Johnson was 172 coming into the league. Yeah, he was. He was. I'm not worried about what you call it. 500. Why do you say Michael Anthony wears the fitness is always sleeping all the time? Because he had all these fitness videos, right? He had these fitness videos we're working on arms today. And I'm all right, I'm going to watch a fitness. I need to learn how to work out. And I go on the channel. He's sleeping. He's a live stream. He's laying there. And you hear him. And I'm every time I'm on, this guy's sleeping. And it happened 2 or 3 times. So I call Michael Anthony. Where's the fitness part? Scott, thank you for the super chat. All these guys are young men, need some gain weight. Some need muscle. Some need to lose weight. It's a big jump from college to pros. Absolutely. It takes time. And I mean, the one thing about DeVonta Smith, and I've said this, before, he's 6'1", right? He's 6'1". So he's not he's not so small he can't put on weight. I think 15 to 20 pounds over a few years. I don't think he'll lose much speed at all. So I think he'll be fine. Justin Ellis, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. He says, I think we need to keep Hakeem Butler at tight end and give him a chance. He has a lot of talent and potential. By the way, the Bears will be dangerous with Fields. Justin Ellis, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, look, I think the Bears made the right move. I think they made the right move in what they did. And I wouldn't mind keeping Hakeem Butler.
They got Jason Kroom too. The only other tight end that got a touchdown. We couldn't
Right.
even see his number from far away. I'm like, who just scored right there? And even
Right. Parker, thank you for the super chat. DeVonta Smith would have Nate Gary running in circles and tripping over himself. Already a huge W, but you could walk 4 yards and Nate Gary is on his ass. Absolutely. Nate Gary don't know what the hell's going on.
First move he's beat. It doesn't matter where it is.
He stinks, dude. I've seen the guy run the wrong way, take the wrong angle. There's nobody infuriated me like in a long time than him last year. Like I had literal meltdowns, Joey, on my channel where people were posting the meltdowns of me going off on Nick Gary. I just couldn't help it. Rich, thank you so much. He never had the makings of a varsity athlete. Did the barbecue come today? If so, in the next live stream. So here's the deal with the barbecue, right? I'm supposed to get this barbecue from Home Depot today, the Traeger. I get a text 6 o'clock in the morning saying it'll be delivered between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. So somebody's got to be home. I'm like, okay. So I stream all day. It's like 4 o'clock. I'm like, the thing didn't come. Let me see where it's at. I track shipment. It says it was delivered. Like, wasn't delivered. Did somebody steal it? I don't think anybody would steal it. There's nobody here in this neighborhood. So I called them up. Turned out that whoever the driver was didn't put it on the truck. Said that they shipped it and delivered it to me. And I don't know if they were trying to steal it or something, doing something crazy, like say it was delivered and then nothing happens and then they get it and take it home later. I don't know. So they have to reschedule it now. But it was crazy. It sucks because I was waiting for that Traeger. I don't know how to use it, but I'll figure it out. Dope Nerd, thank you so much for the super chat. The Slim Reaper believe he can run a 4.3. I believe he can. If he says he can do it, I believe he can do it. Definitely. DeVonta Smith is a combination of Stephon Diggs and Devontae Adams. I like it. You know what I mean? Joey says, I will die on this hill saying the only reason the Cowboys took Kelvin Joseph is because he locked up Smith to no catches and an interception. And guess what? He's going to have to do it many more times, and Smith is going to know it, and he's going to shut him up. I'm not even worried about it. But you're probably right. Probably right. Nate Gary, future Hall of Famer. My man JoJo. I don't think so. Future Hall of Famer of stink. That's what he is. He was horrible. Well, listen, Joey, man, I want to thank you once again for joining me on another episode of the Philly Shakedown podcast, episode 4. Next week, we're on Joey's channel. So if you guys haven't, make sure you click the link in the description, sub them up. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining us. Thank you for all the super chats, the new subscribers, the likes. Not just today, but I mean, we had day one was epic. It was an epic classic stream. Me and Joey, crazy reaction. Day 2 was epic as well. It was 5.5 hours of craziness. We went delirious at the end. We didn't even know what the hell was going on. And then today, Joey joined me, and it was another 6.5 hours of streaming. So you guys have been awesome and been here the whole way. But it is now time for me and Joey to go and get some rest because we are burnt the hell out. It's been a long week. I haven't even unpacked. I told Joey I haven't even put my bed frame together yet. I've been so busy. So, but we appreciate each and every one of you guys joining us, man.
Yeah, anybody that showed up to the streams the past few days, just the same names have been popping up. And anybody that's new, we appreciate and has subscribed to both channels. Just make sure you subscribe to both channels because we have the podcast going every Saturday. So we switch channels every week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, when the season comes around, then we're going to change the schedule a little bit, and it should be a lot of fun. So we're hoping you guys join us with that.
Yeah, guys, it was awesome. And Eagle Slayer, thank you so much for the super chat, man. He says, Nate Gary, future Hall of Famer of can't cover shit. That is so well said. Definitely. It's not even funny. It was a blast. It really was. It's been fun. We're loving this podcast too. It's a lot of fun. People are liking it. And look, just remember, we do not hate this draft. This was not a bad draft. We think there's a lot of good players that the Eagles picked in this draft. We just hope that Dickerson can be healthy, because if he's healthy, it's really going to make this draft, I think, a plus draft.
Yeah.
But we love you guys. Thank you so much. And with that said, we are going to let you guys go. And we'll see you guys next week on another episode on Joey's channel. So click the link in the description and make sure you sub them up. Click the bell so you get the notification, because you're not going to want to miss it, because who knows what this week will bring. Should be interesting. Joey, man, thanks again for joining me.
No problem, man.
On the way out?
No, that's it. We'll be ready next week. We're gonna take a little break, and it was a crazy week. So, any news? Obviously, news throughout the week. Just remember, guys, we're not just talking about just regular stuff for the day, but any news that comes out for the week. I usually have everything written down. Everything pretty much is set for us to talk about on these podcast days as well. So we'll be covering everything. So it should be fun.
Absolutely, and I'll have a draft grade video out tomorrow talking about everything. Just to let you guys know. So look for that as well. Michael Richard, thank you for super chat. He says, great job, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. And just remember, Dr. Peppy, or is it Dr. Peps? Dr. Peppy, he's lurking now. We need Dr. Peppy shirts.
Should have named it the Dr. Peppy podcast.
I know. We need to get Dr. Peppy shirts, dude. Don't do cartwheels, Dr. Peppy, something like that. Now, thank you, Michael, for super chat. Thank you, guys. With that said, we are going to let you guys go. Take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat.
See you guys.
Peace.